Like, dear white people, will you take our vote? Can you let us in, white people?
They have to take your vote if you do it. Like, what the fuck?
Welcome back. Yeah, that's right. Get the energy going. You know what I'm saying? Know what it is. Need to have extra energy to battle all of the white supremacy that we have to face on a daily basis as black people in the hells of North America, man.
They're making music for us now, though.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Soundtracks to the revolution.
Soundtrack to the sellout. Oh, we got, come on. Hey, bro, we about to get into it.
Here we go.
Yes. But, you know, beginning, I'm just X, co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media, and to my immediate right.
It's a miracle.
Hey.
It's your girl, Miracle, a.k.a. Big Blessing with the Big Blessing.
Let's go, Miracle.
Everybody keeps asking me for the past 3 weeks, is that your real name? And I don't understand why.
You should just say no.
At my big age, I would make up a name that's
not. Yeah.
The only non-rapper at the table with a rap name.
Right, yeah. Lyrical miracles. Spiritual lyrical miracles in your swimming pool.
And my brother.
It's your boy, Trouble in the Last Never Like Supremacy, Next Level Shaman.
All right. You already know the deal. And, sir, Top G?
I'm cosplaying as Jasiri X for the last, 37 years.
Shit.
I've been cosplaying as Jasiri X, and now the secret is out because someone actually texted me and said, I seen your video at the airport, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not me.
Yeah.
But thank you. Yeah, we do dope shit. Yeah,
One Hood has 3 light-skinned...
Austin, could you step in the frame, please?
3 light-skinned brothers with beards. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, it's come in different sizes. You know what I'm saying? Different sizes for whatever size you want.
different height.
What?
Different heights. Oh my gosh, grow up.
Different
He
heights.
hasn't left the 7th grade.
Yeah. What's wrong with them?
Ladies!
Yes. So, yeah, we're different people.
Yeah. We're gonna have a fun episode today, man.
Yes. So let's begin. You know, last week we kind of left a cliffhanger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because all of the Trump defendants were out of jail except for one, the black man, Harrison,
trying to keep a black man down. Harrison Floyd.
Harrison Floyd was struggling.
Yeah.
Harrison got out, I guess, and what we're seeing, it's wild because while Harrison was struggling to pay his legal bills, Donald Trump was making $10 million off of his own mugshot.
Yeah.
Man.
There's a question, of course, is who owns this picture. Is it the property of the government? It doesn't matter. But the funniest thing about the picture that Trump is selling on T-shirts is that it says never surrender. I mean, and it's a picture of the moment he surrendered
Beautiful irony.
To actually have to take, you don't get a mugshot taken of you unless you surrender.
That's literally what it's called, surrendering to the authorities.
Surrendering, turning yourself in, surrendering.
Niggas look surrendered. I don't know.
Man. So what we found out,
niggas love sarcasm, I guess.
And I want to come here. Yeah. It's crazy. That it wasn't just Harrison struggling with his legal bills. Apparently, Trump isn't funding any of his co-defendants.
What Nas say? I don't like the way P. Diddy did shine with different lawyers.
Is Diddy going to be our black excellence? Hey, we're getting a Diddy.
I don't know.
That is basically bullying works. That's what I would say. I think bullying. Because he was tired of everybody calling him a thief.
Yeah, but after how long?
Like 30 years.
Is it excellent that you held on to it?
That's what I'm saying. It's like he milked the catalog for as much as he can.
You know what I'm saying?
Like 2 years before the copyright ends. But he did it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Diddy. Shout out to Diddy. So according to CNN, The headline reads, quote, Trump isn't funding any of us. Co-defendants in Georgia case are struggling with mounting legal bills. And to be honest, Trump's like, yo, I got 91 felonies over here. I got to save my lawyer.
I got to prioritize myself.
God damn. You know what I'm saying? But they said in the past that Trump has covered the legal bill of aides, advisors, and employees, but it says there's no sign that Trump intends to do so for any of his co-defendants.
How much is he
in the Georgia case?
Approximately looking at spending for this particular case for Georgia?
A whole lot.
I mean,
that's Drew Feinling is the like
right. Yeah. If you could estimate, say how much you think Trump
probably $1 million or $2 million.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, it's just 4 charges, but they're going in March allegedly.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be...
Well, I think March was the other case. So March, they're saying the case around whether or not he tampered with the documents.
Yeah.
Will be in March. Man, is this going to be in March too? We'd be wild if we had 2 cases at a time.
I mean, the Georgia
go back and forth.
His Georgia co-defendants moved for a speedy trial.
Yes.
Which technically should be within like 6 months.
Right.
And so he could really be doing cases like back to back.
That is wild.
Damn.
Flying case to case. I'm going to tell you.
New York to LA to Georgia, like crisscross.
That would be wild.
That would be wild. And then it's like a race to like who gets to prosecute Trump first. That's kind of fascinating.
It'd be like YouTube comments first.
100% first. And speaking of, and then also the case is going to be live streamed
right
on YouTube.
He gonna break the internet, man.
I mean,
can their servers handle that bandwidth?
They're getting ready. But it says not only is Trump not paying for any of his co-defendants in the case, it says Trump has publicly distanced himself from them, telling Newsmax he doesn't know a lot of these people.
I don't know none of these.
They're on camera.
They're on camera.
They're on camera. So some of the I think it's Kofi County people, they're literally on camera going through the boxes and copying the record.
Oh, okay.
Like it's not did they do it? Like
right.
Playing camera, like candid camera, got you. Like talking, shaking hands, got people. Remember the Kanye's Travion or whatever?
Right.
She went viral because she was threatening the lady. Yes. They're on camera.
They're
breaking the law, saying you got to do this or else we're going to harm you. Like it's not. It's a very open and shut case. And again, Teflon Don knows when you commit crimes, you don't do it on camera.
Well, and I think that's why, it says Trump he says he formally asked the judge to sever his case.
Yeah.
From his co-defendants, like you said, because the RICO is like if one person's guilty, everybody's guilty.
You ain't got me on camera doing shit, but these niggas,
yes,
you got them in 4K. Throw the book at them.
By the way, I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I don't know
I've
them.
never met these motherfuckers.
And it's weird because Georgia's laws are very different because of Ray Lewis. Y'all remember how a few years ago,
right, when Ray Lewis
was in the limousine and one of his people like stabbed somebody
allegedly led to
they got convicted. He got acquitted,
right.
And Georgia was like, okay, well, we're going to rewrite our conspiracy laws.
Oh shit!
One person go down, everybody got to go down.
Trump really is like Clay Davis right now.
He definitely is.
Like
1,000%.
Like, I mean, everybody keeps saying the Georgia case is the most damaging case out of all of them.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah.
One, because people were quite stupid.
Yes.
But 2, he did the phone call.
Yes, he did the phone call.
He called Brad and was like,
did he say it was the perfect phone call?
The perfect phone. Get me some votes, right?
Yes.
So you're there telling someone
find the votes
to find the votes for you so you can win.
Yes.
And then you're there having conversations with other people who are then showing up in person saying, so Trump told me, or Trump's colleague told me to do this. That is the conspiracy.
Right. Find these electors, find these other votes. And apparently the governor of Georgia is going to testify against Trump. Probably if what's the guy? He's the
Brad.
Yeah,
Secretary of State.
The Secretary of State. If he gets called, he'll probably have to testify about that perfect phone calls. Like you said, you're on tape, you're on videotape, you're on audio tape.
Damn.
It's not looking good.
Yeah.
Fuck Donald Trump.
And the reason,
But Miracle, does it? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to think, and the reason we have all of this great footage because at the time,
Beautiful beat.
was at the time Georgia was trying to come after Black Voters Matter and the New Georgia Project, saying that they were doing too much to motivate Black people to get out to vote.
Yeah.
So we have all of this surveillance because they were trying to basically capture Black Democrats doing bad deeds, and really it was these conservatives that were
look
out
who
here
they caught.
just violating the law.
The biggest fish. So Miracle, does it so again, if I'm looking at it and I'm looking at like a RICO case,
Trump is going to snitch. I feel like Trump is going to cop a plea and snitch. What was the movie with the Denzel Washington? And
American Gangster?
Yeah, I feel like that's what Trump is.
And that's exactly what American Gangster
I feel like he's basically going to be like, I see what all they did. I was just in a competition trying to make sure I did what I do to get all the votes. I didn't tell them to break the law. I didn't tell them to copy these machines. I didn't tell them to do all this stuff. I just said, find me some votes. I foresee Trump snitching on everybody else.
You know what?
And sending
that's a hot take, but I can see
everybody down.
I can see
I'm like,
that.
they betrayed me.
You know what? Now, because I was going to ask you, would it benefit Trump more to pay these people's legal bills? But if he is saying, like, he knows they committed crimes. He knows he committed crimes. He's never going to admit to that. But he knows they committed crimes. He knows they're lesser than, right? He knows they have less money. They have weaker lawyers. You know what I'm saying? So that would make really good sense for him just to blame them, cop the plea, right?
Yeah.
Blame them, and then kind of get off. But can he do that? I thought you said last week that Fannie set the RICO in a place where nobody can cooperate.
I feel like he's going to do something.
He's going to trump it.
He's
going to trump it.
I feel like he's going to negotiate something, and then he still wants, and then he'll be able to run for president. Like, Georgia is the only thing that can really harm him and prevent him from becoming president.
I wonder,
because then he'll be a felon. Then none of those charges are not federal, so the governor would have to pardon him, and not the governor that you just told everybody stole an election and you tried to endorse his opponent. Kemp's not going to pardon you. So the Georgia thing has to go away for him.
This is so fascinating.
Mm-hmm. It is absolutely fascinating.
A wild time to be alive right now. The season of America has given us so many gems.
Facts.
And the fact that we're going to be able to watch it in real time. Yeah. Like, particularly if we're at a point where, like, I'm assuming that Trump's lawyer do not call him to the stand.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming Trump is not going. But if Trump were to, like, so let me ask you this, Miracle. Does it benefit Trump more to have this case live streamed, or does it hurt him?
I think it hurts him to have it live streamed just because of the severity of the evidence of his co-defendants. If he testifies, it's in his favor because nobody can work a camera like Trump, right? Nobody, especially when it's hit. Now, direct is going to be very weird when he's being cross-examined, right? Because if it's Fannie and the way he has a testy relationship with Black women, I don't think it's going to come over well. But it just shows that it's everybody else. It's all the king's men. It's not the king. So I think it benefits him to have it out there. Like, I think it's going to benefit him, like it's going to benefit Young Thug. People are going to see this evidence and be like, no, I want to free the guys that with these people. It's like, bro, I see you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes, I see you threatening grandma, or like until you're gonna mess up her life if she doesn't decertify these votes. Like,
if Trump takes the stand and then just starts like dissing all of the other co-defendants and putting, I mean, that would be the height. I don't know. I mean, is that the season for this? Is the season finale to America that we're waiting for?
I don't know what happened in Succession, so like I don't. I don't know, but it's like people always when you see honk for Jesus, like people will always try to save themselves.
Yeah.
And it's one thing like Trump is going to save themselves. Now, this is some breaking news, Miracle. I'm coming to you because we're talking about Atlanta and the RICO. 30 minutes ago, 61 people have been indicted on the RICO that are protesting Stop Cop City. And so, for those that don't know,
Georgia
Cop
loves
City,
it. They hit the RICO with everybody this year.
Yo.
Like it's the RICO.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Trump, Stop Cop City. At least they're
Everybody
indiscriminate.
in Georgia is the RICO charge.
They're like, listen, we will charge everybody.
Hey, yo, if we
with
do
that
a
shit.
show down there, we going down.
They gonna get us, man.
But I'm saying, so for those that don't know, Atlanta is trying to build this huge cop facility, and there's been a lot of organizing and protest around it, so much so that the protesters in the Stop Cop City movement were able to get over 100,000 petition signatures to basically put it on the ballot so people can vote against it.
Yeah.
And if the people voted against it, they could kill Stop Cop City, right? It went to the city council. Unfortunately, the city council and the mayor, black people who claim to be progressive, voted for this Cop City, right? So people organized, and it was wild because when they organized over 100,000 petition signatures, the Democrats in Atlanta basically started to use similar tactics that Republicans used around voter ID, where they were saying like every signature has to be checked against the person's ID and all of these things. Oh yeah, bro, it's getting deep. Now, 61 people are indicted in a RICO. People that are organizing this is the way it looks. It looks like a level of oppression.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how do we handle this, Miracle? Because I mean, here and it's going to be fascinating because we already had YSN and YSL, right? And the whole movement to free Young Thug, and nobody's been getting bail, and we're still up in the air about what's going to happen with Young Thug. But however, we saw how justice is different and white privilege is different for Trump's folks that got hit with the RICO. They got bail. They got, Trump was able to obviously like self-identify his own height and weight. We know this nigga's not 6'3", 215.
Ain't no way.
Trump, come on, man. Stop
Ain't no
it.
way.
We seen you on the golf course, my nigga. Stop it. So now are these protesters going to get bail? Like, how are they going to get treated? How
no
is
one
this?
really knows, but
Yes.
at the moment, right?
Yes.
These Stop Cop City people are not doing a RICO. What we are seeing is governments come together
Yes.
and do dry runs and use leftists and progressive activists to see how to prosecute these charges. Everyone knows these Stop Cop City protesters are not money laundering. They're doing bail funds.
Yes.
They know they're not terrorists. They are basically participating in First Amendment free speech and organizing the trouble.
Yes.
But they make the mayor mad. They make the DA mad. So how are we going to silence dissent? We're going to arrest people. The police are usually used and weaponized to suppress progressive leftist movements. For some reason, far-right movements are allowed to thrive. I guess police have a hard time recognizing when their collaborators or their enemies or their coworkers, so they just allow
police are looking at
far-right
themselves.
people to do whatever. But when it comes to leftist and progressive spaces, whether it's the G8, whether it is the Occupy Wall Street, whether it's Black Lives Matter, you always see police resistance to leftist and progressive spaces, and you see restraint, thinking about January 6th, when it comes to far-right entities. And so these 60-plus people facing RICO is ridiculous. They're more than likely going to be found innocent or have these cases dismissed. But it's basically the political will for these political prosecutions saying, you know what, you try to come up against the king, we're going to knock you right down.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see how you could see it as anything other than these people are organizing against. This is, as the DA, as the mayor, they're both on record as saying they want Cop City regardless of whatever the movement of the people is. And so how can you see this as anything other than political oppression? We already seen one person, the brother Torque, killed right? Or they kill. So again, to me, how do you see it as anything other than an overt attempt to stop this movement? Now, when you come back and say, oh, these petitions don't work or whatever, now you're linking people who have legitimate concerns, legitimate protesters to some aspect of criminality.
But that is what Cop City is, and that's what we've been saying for years, is that, or months, that Cop City is built to suppress dissent.
Yes.
It's built to surveil citizens, and it's not to keep people safe. It's not to train police and firefighters. It is to suppress free speech and political speech and uppress, and this is what Cop City has to do in order to get built. But Cop City will never be built. People are going to keep fighting and pushing back against this monstrosity, and whether it's in Baltimore, Atlanta, or Pittsburgh, these Cop Cities cannot be built.
So how then now, and feel free to jump in.
Now don't try to get me a RICO. Like
trouble or
He said, how do you protest now?
No. I was going to actually ask, because right now we're, people have been looking favorably at Fani Willis as a DA, right? Because now, when she comes at the rappers, it was kind of like, wow, like this black woman is coming at these rappers, what's going on? And then she came at Trump. And so because she has put this case against Donald Trump, she becomes now like somebody that the progressives or the left are like holding up as like, yo, this black woman, she's taking on Trump, so like now that this same black woman who a lot of people are like holding up and in favorable terms is now prosecuting 60 people, activists that are trying to stop Cop City. How should we see her, look at her, or look at this piece?
I never looked at it any different than Kamala. To begin with, I just thought like she's just maybe perhaps a little bit more celebrity based, and she's a little bit more, I guess, she goes at this in more of a profile case, whereas Kamala was just like, I'm a cop, I'm locking everybody up. It doesn't seem like Fani Willis is acting any different. She's a prosecutor.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know did Kamala say I'm a cop? I don't know if that's
people would call her.
Because she was a prosecutor.
Yeah.
And so here's Fani as a prosecutor as well.
Yeah. I mean, all prosecutors are trash. I'm not looking at any different.
I mean, a prosecutor's job is to put people in jail.
Yes.
And in prison, right?
Right.
And so that is what she is going to do.
Right.
The diversion isn't there. The community, she never ran as a progressive community prosecutor. She ran as a lock 'em up.
Oh, okay.
Throw away the key and that is who she is. I think people wanted her to be more community based. People wanted her to do more supports, and she has never proclaimed to be that. She is a by the book. Whatever I can put on you to make you go down. She has been known to like hold indictments to the 89th and 90th day. She does everything. Her office does everything it can to keep people in jail for as long as they can. This is why the Fulton County jail is overcrowded.
Right.
Multiple people have been, murdered and injured and have died in the jail. And even the sheriff is like, she keeps putting more people here, and there's nothing for us. Like, we have nowhere to put people. That is just who she is, and people like that because they feel like that is giving her the edginess to go after Trump. And so some people are going to celebrate her for it, and a lot of people are going to be like, nah, this is not sitting well with me. But her job is to get convictions.
Yeah, that is pretty deep when you look at it. Well, speaking of convictions, it's looking like the level of, and again, this is also, I don't know if you consider yourself, I'm an abolitionist.
Me too, except for
January 6th.
And then lock all them niggas up.
And Donald Trump, everybody go to prison.
I want to see him under the jail, man. I want to see him hit all them men with football numbers.
And I think there's a part of it where, and it's like you said, Miracle, like, I mean, we have oftentimes, and it is wild to me to see a black person, but I mean, all studies have shown like black people in positions does not equate to like liberation and justice for black people, right?
Representation doesn't equal liberation.
100%, right? That a black face in this, and oftentimes black people in these judicial places or DAs are often harsher on other black people, right?
Like Clarence Thomas.
In an attempt to, exactly, an attempt to like show up or shore up their like white supremacist backing, you know? So we've seen, so it is wild to me in my mind that a black person get in this position, knowing the history, knowing how law has been used to mass incarcerate us. And I mean, I'm assuming that she understood what happened to Dr. King. We're in Atlanta, right? With Dr. King and how the law was used to suppress legitimate civil rights movements, right? The Black Power movements. Trouble?
I was going to say, because before you asked the question, I was thinking to myself, like, how do I feel about her personally as myself, right?
Yes.
And I was thinking, if I ever saw her in person, I don't think I'd be too happy or ecstatic to see her. But I also think her position is interesting because it reveals a sort of cognitive dissonance that exists amongst abolitionists everywhere, myself included.
Yes.
Because I was happy to see her treatment of Trump, but then I had to remember, wait, she's still serving a system that I stand against.
1,000%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it makes you think, like, what is my position when it comes to this? You know what I'm saying? And like, how do I stand for abolitionists in whatever instance comes up when it comes to incarcerating folks? You know what I'm saying?
And I think for me, the reason that I, say abolition except for January, so we need to come up with them shirts, is because of how lenient the sentences have been against these individuals that have committed crimes in January 6th, right?
We're talking probation, house arrest, 3-year sentences, months-long sentences.
For breaking into the Capitol.
Yeah.
Not like Target, not Walmart. I mean, you had a dude supposedly light a fire at a Quick Trip in St. Louis. He's still in prison.
Yeah.
They get him at 8 years for arson or These motherfuckers went into the Capitol with bowel movements.
Shit on the walls,
I
man.
What?
They shit on the walls.
Hold on, Trouble.
We have been so far removed from this.
Trouble. They went in there with cuffs. They went in there with pepper spray. They beat and pepper sprayed police officers. Police officers died. And they were getting literally his video. That's another thing, Trouble. It's all in 4K. The whole crime is in 4K. Everything. This isn't what did they? We're not sure. No, we're sure, bro. We seen it.
You can scrape DNA evidence from the walls.
So here's my question, right?
Wait, hold on one more time. So the fact that you beat these cops in 4K and got 5 years, 3 years. Remember the guy that came with bombs, Trouble? The nigga pulled
and his only regret was he didn't have more guns. That's his only regret. He's like, yo, I hear you, and I wouldn't have done anything different except I'd have brought blicks for everybody.
I mean, think about that.
You get a blick. You get a blick. You get a blick. You get a blick.
A blick is another word for a gun. It's slang for a gun. But then he pulled up to the Capitol with bombs.
So I do think that
it's crazy.
When we look at this, right, and we say that these people deserve harsher sentences because of the harsh sentences they give us.
Yes.
I don't think that helps our position as abolitionists.
Yes,
it doesn't.
Because
it doesn't at all.
It makes me feel better.
Listen, I feel like as abolitionists, we should see this and say, okay, they're getting these light sentences for much worse crimes.
Yes.
We should be getting lighter sentences.
But
we should be getting
But what
more
are they
lenient
doing?
treatment.
They're hitting us with the fucking RICO for protesting.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. And Miracle did make that point. And Miracle said that's what we should be advocating. And, love you and I hear you.
But
I hear you.
I'm not of that ministry. Lock them motherfuckers up forever.
Right,
throw away the key.
Because we know bro, if it was us, we'd be dead. We would be dead. They'd be hitting us with motherfucking life, death sentences. And so the fact that
look at how they treated the black people at January 6th. Niggas didn't get bail, longest sentences. You know what I mean?
Right. So the one guy, this dude's named Dominic Pizzola, and now we're getting into the Proud Boys. And if you watch any video, it was clear that the Proud Boys were part of the organizing. They weren't just there; they were leading people this way. So Dominic Pizzola was one of the first people that smashed through the window in the Capitol with a police riot shield. How does he get that? Taking it and beating up some cop, allowing the first wave of rioters to storm the building as members of Congress were being evacuated. People were trying to kill. Remember,
that wasn't the only people that were being evacuated.
Please stop.
But remember, the black security guard had to do the 52 fake out to like allow the Congress people to get away.
Yeah,
like they were coming to harm these people, bro. He got 10 years, man. That's a long sentence in this. That's not no. But however, Ethan Nordine, a Proud Boy from Washington State, who took over leading the group, he got sentenced to 18 years. Now we're talking because he actually got sentenced to what they call seditious conspiracy. You tried to take over the government. You tried to impede the peaceful transfer of power. So he got 18. Stuart Rhodes, an Oath Keeper dude, got 18. And then, hold up, it was another dude that got 17 years, Joe Biggs.
Joe Biggs, he was the leader of the Proud Boys.
Right. A U.S. Army veteran.
Yeah.
Should have known better, Joe.
And his thing was, he was like, when you compare this to other events, it wasn't that bad.
Wow.
That's what he said. He was like, it could have been worse.
Right. It says he employed his military experience to direct and control large groups of men under his command. Another member of the Proud Boy got 15, and guess what? Enrique?
They always use the same picture of this nigga, too.
Hey, Enrique. They trying to hit Enrique with 33.
Oh, shit.
33, they gonna give him the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sentence,
Scottie
brother.
Pippen,
the
man.
Scottie P, bro.
Yeah.
33.
They running wild on these niggas.
And I want him to serve
every day.
Again,
serve
as an
every single
abolitionist.
day.
Because as a person of color, Enrique, you should have known better, my man. And you should have known as a person of color when
they
you
ain't
get
gonna
in front
treat
of
you
them,
like they treat your comrades, bro.
Oh,
like
no.
you're not getting, like, you know what I mean? And this is me. Someone, listen. I've been in solitary confinement. I've been locked up. Lock all them niggas up.
Yeah.
Put them all under the jail because for the simple fact that you thought your adjacency to white supremacy was gonna save you, my nigga. You forsake everything. You mean to tell me you never experienced racism?
Yes.
You never experienced any type of otherism in your life.
Come on, man.
And you thought you were gonna be protected when you ran up in the fucking Capitol,
You
bro.
thought, yeah.
You ran in there where they was dumb.
I don't even think he was even there.
You weren't even there, but you was there, my nigga. Like, that's the thing. Is like
Still
they
getting
was
33.
They was mashing up police officers with flags.
Niggas in Puerto Rico, they still got 33
was like,
for this
nah,
nigga.
no, you ain't safe there, nigga. Like, yo, you really fought when them niggas was shitting on the walls, when they was taking Nancy Pelosi's desk, when they was assaulting everybody they possibly could,
stealing the mail,
doing all these things that you looking like you do, bro.
Yes.
That you were safe.
Yes.
Wrong.
Why are you saying it like that?
Absolutely wrong. Get into the jail, nigga.
Like,
yes.
Lock that nigga
Lock
up,
him
bro.
up.
No.
I want to see that
Lock
nigga in
him
jail till I come back on this planet.
I think that the problem with abolition is that we have to understand that the system is unfair.
Yes.
And that usually black people get the harshest sentences.
Not usually, factually.
Usually, in reality, get the harshest sentences are the least likely to receive grace.
Yes.
And it usually is white people or white passing people who benefit from abolition.
Yes.
Who get to like go home, get probation, get diversion, get to like cry and think about, get suspended sentences.
Yeah.
Get Alfred, please. And get to go on with their lives.
Get allowed to like have 91 felonies and go in
because
get 20 minutes inside the courthouse and leave. Don't have to go over. Don't have to do any of that other stuff that black people do.
Jack, hold on.
If it was 6 black girls fighting in a porta potty at a Wiz Khalifa concert,
1,000%,
everybody be in jail.
There's a photo.
No one cared about the white girls in Morgan Wayland. No one cared about that.
And so when we see
no one was calling for their arrest.
nobody's calling. And so when we see stuff like what happens on January 6th, it's like, okay, yeah, it's justice. Finally, they're getting the sentences that we get.
Yes.
But for abolition, it's like, nah, nobody needs to be in jail or prison. We got to do something else. Think about safety and education and reaching back and building community.
How
we don't have those systems right now, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Like we
got a system, Miracle.
We literally will get arrested and go to jail when we're trying to solve problems, when we're trying to do mediations. If you don't have,
trying to do nonviolent protests
or this certification, you can't even go and talk to people. And so there is a lot that goes into these conversations about abolition and what the right response is going to be, because jails are horribly violent.
Yeah.
Prisons are
they about to find out. They about to find listen, take the bulletproof vest off with the White Claw, my nigga.
Yeah.
Put the phone books under your shit. Yeah. And get ready. You got the War Boys hat on.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Hope them white supremacist groups and gangs inside.
Yeah,
they gonna take you, Enrique?
Gonna protect you, nigga.
But
now all of a sudden you want to be a Latin king, Enrique.
Yeah, now you want to LK it up, bro.
No, but in California they did say a lot of the Hispanic gangs run with the white supremacists. Yeah, so
I think it's the southern. I think northern Mexico and southern Mexico fight one another, and so but don't quote me. I'm not, I don't want to get into the jail stuff.
There are a lot of Hispanic people who are white supremacists.
True.
And it is what it is.
Yeah.
I hope everybody who goes into jail makes it home, and everybody who goes into prison makes it.
Except these
Enrique. Yeah, except all of the Proud Boys. You were saying there's a picture or something?
Yeah, there's this picture that they always use of him, and he got like the Kevlar vest. Yeah. With a fucking White Claw in there. It's just hilarious to me that he's putting those two things together.
Yeah.
It's like the photo they always use. He got the War Boy hat on, the aviator shades, and an Apple Watch. It's like, what look are you trying to do? Are you trying to be like Home Depot terrorists? Yeah. Homeland, you know what I mean? Like Homeland Security terrorists? I don't know what you going for, bro. It's like, but you about to find out, man. They coming for you. Pause. Like,
and I look at it like Miracle, like they knew. Yeah. Like what they were doing was illegal. They knew what they were trying to do. They were trying to prevent the transfer of power. They were trying to keep Trump in office and possibly set Trump up for some dictatorship. So they knew what they were doing was illegal, right? The people organizing in Atlanta are organizing peacefully. People just going and sitting down in the forest. They're not trying to harm nobody. They're not trying to like gather up weapons to go toe to toe with the police. They're not doing those type of things. So, but this is what the Proud Boys doing. They're training.
They
were inside. They were going out in the woods training and fighting each other and doing all types of stuff. They were bragging about fighting and brutalizing and using violence. So now use that in prison to survive. And in fact, it's my understanding, Farouk, that Enrique actually has a theme song.
Man.
Oh.
Yeah, he has a theme song.
I'll allow it.
And the theme song is called Latinos for Trump. Now, we had niggas for Trump.
And this is not any copyright. We're showing this as a reaction and under fair use.
Yes, we had niggas for Trump last week. So funny. We had to change the thumbnail just so you make sure like we're not the niggas for Trump. Like it was the guy with the shirt, not us niggas, that nigga, right? And
it was an amazing distinction.
Yes,
not these niggas, those niggas,
right? Blacks for Trump.
These are not the niggas you're looking for. It's those niggas.
Yeah. So now,
Star Wars reference for anybody who gets that.
So now,
Star Wars doesn't say nigga.
A very, very,
they might as well have.
A very, very terrible rapper decided to.
What's his name?
Who cares? We don't care. We don't care. He's terrible. And really, he's trying to sell a product. I get it. Like, I get it, bro. These white folks are going crazy. They spending all this money on Trump's mugshot. Let's try to capitalize and make us some money. Can you play a little bit of Latinos for Trump?
Nobody voted for Trump. Voted for Trump. The whole hood's for Trump. Nobody voted for Trump. Blacks for Trump. Latinos for Trump. United we stand and we standing with Trump.
Dear white people, will you take our vote? Why the Democrats always try to steal our hope?
I'd rather have a...
Dear white people.
Dear white people, will you take our vote? Democrats always trying to steal our hope.
Dear white people. What?
Wow. Like, did you actually, I wonder if he actually wrote that
Did you
shit
write
out.
that down?
Like, did he actually, like, yo, I got a bar.
Hey, yo.
Like, yo, this is about to hit.
Excuse me, Master. Master, can you take my vote, please? Hold up, keep playing it. Keep playing it.
I'm sorry, Trump, I ain't vote for you last time. They was hating on you, spreading lies last time. It made me relate when they hit you with the RICO. Now the whole hood screaming free Trumpito.
No, they're not.
There's not a single man on the ends screaming free Trumpito. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yo, I was on the ends all day yesterday, bro. I ain't hear nothing.
Hey, bro.
Single man say them
Farouk,
things.
I was in the hood in Pittsburgh, man. I could tell you, bro. I couldn't drive for 30 seconds without niggas screaming at the top of their lungs.
That's what you
free
heard?
Trumpito.
Free Trumpito is crazy.
Hey, bro.
Facts.
What hood?
Crazy.
Trumpito.
Crazy.
It made you. Why him getting hit with a RICO made him relate to you?
This is
As a rapper?
why Vivek, whatever, was out here rapping Eminem. He was like, I need to
Be relatable.
These are my people.
Try to be relatable, yeah.
You know what?
And apparently, Miracle.
Dear white people, will you take our vote?
It's working
Hey, yo,
because y'all
we
gonna
gotta-
keep
we
singing
gotta
this
have that as
horrible song.
we gotta have that as a drop. Hey, yo, that is madness. Like, dear white people, will you take our vote? Can you let us in, white people?
They have to take your vote if you do it. Like, what the fuck?
Maybe he's undocumented. Maybe we don't know.
Oh, take that out. Take that out.
No, that's
At that
valid.
point-
That's valid.
At that point-
Valid point.
They won't take my vote.
They won't take his vote. If I'm not disrespecting.
No, I got what he was saying. I didn't take it that way. I just thought that's hilarious.
Listen,
Right, that's maybe he's like,
if
yo.
he's
And you know
knowledgeable-
what the wild part is? If he was, Trump and them would still take his vote.
They would need to.
They're the ones
They
that
need
are
the
doing
numbers.
all of the voter
Election fraud
fraud.
and voter fraud has been conservatives.
Yes. Yeah. Trumpito, nobody. Yeah.
Trumpito. Like,
Not a whole hood.
There is a whole subsection of hip hop called MAGA Rap.
Oh, yes.
And there are multiple
So
conservative
disturbing.
rappers
Yes.
who sometimes, there may be a little bop in there sometimes. I'm like, okay.
Not in Latino.
You know,
There wasn't no bop there.
But they are out there. And again, it is a grift, right? We know
Yes.
it is money.
Yes.
We know people are selling.
maybe I
things.
should have
Yes.
cashed in on this whole MAGA Muslim thing, man.
You probably. Yes.
You know he is like.
You probably
this is
should
how
have.
it starts. Oh, I'm just doing this for the money.
Yeah.
I probably could have got a bag.
You probably got- But then if you get
all of the far right
Yeah.
people. Oh, I just follow them for their sports and their workout tips. This is how it starts.
Fresh and Fit podcast.
This is how it
shit.
starts.
Don't let me in the category of them niggas, man.
This
I hate
is how
them
it
niggas.
starts. But no,
But then-
people have been talking about 50 years of hip hop. Is hip hop still
Yeah.
relevant? And we're seeing hip hop is still very political,
Yeah.
right? Hip hop is getting a message out there, and we know that part of the 2024 strategy is to get more Black and Hispanic men to vote for Trump.
True.
And this is part of the way that
What
they
was
are-
the lady
this is part
last
of it.
last
Yeah.
week who said Trump's now the most relatable candidate for black
Right,
people?
right. This white supremacist, right? Because he got hit with
with the
charges,
RICO,
right? Trumped up charges or illegal charges, but again, I agree with you, Miracle, that there is a grit part of it, and it's all good until they invite you. Hey, Farouk, would you want to join us outside of Disney World for an impromptu appearance of your MAGA Muslim? And you show up and everybody got swastika flags, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
I mean,
damn,
because
this went left really bad.
100%. I mean, that's where it's at
Or
and
did
where
it
it's
go
going.
far right?
Yeah. Now,
I gave you the alley-oop.
Tell you shit.
now it's interesting how we kind of are on this topic, right? We talked about Enrique, we talked about Latinos for Trump, and there was a racial incident that took place on reality TV recently that kind of blew up in the headlines. A TV show called Love and Hip Hop. I didn't know Love and Hip Hop's still on, but
Me neither.
obviously
I didn't know that
Not
neither.
only is it still on, obviously it's still a very, very popular show. And the whole formula of Love and Hip Hop was, let's bring a bunch of black people together, let's get them drunk and have them fight one another, right?
Pretty much,
And argue with one another.
It's a Boondocks episode.
100%. So in this episode, it was a Puerto Rican Dominican woman named Erica Mena, and it was a Jamaican woman,
Spice,
named Spice,
and dancehall reggae queen.
Okay,
man, listen, I fucking love Spice. Man.
Shoot, so Spice is somebody.
Spice is popping. Spice is
okay, she's like the Beyonce of Jamaica.
Okay. So
if it kind of makes sense.
Yes, Spice is solidified.
Spice is solidified. Yeah. So they were arguing, and Erica Mena called Spice a monkey,
a blue monkey,
a monkey multiple times,
monkey multiple times, and then even according to, now I haven't seen the video, even made like monkey noises at Spice.
Oh shit!
Right, and so this kind of got into this conversation around now. The person who runs Love and Hip Hop, Mona Scott, said the situation was handled and she was fired. And so it brought up a lot of conversation around, again, here you have a quote unquote person of color, right? We know that folks have a problem with that terminology.
And this is why.
But a person of color now gets in an argument and you hit them with a low blow and they go to, you're a monkey.
Yeah.
So how do you all feel about, I don't know, do you watch Love and Hip Hop?
Y'all, I want y'all men to discuss this.
How do you all feel about?
Well, I mean, the conversation was, is Erica Mena black? And as someone who's been in the industry,
and again, I will say,
I've never heard her say I'm black.
Right, and again, I just assumed.
Right, yeah, a lot of people assume. I always knew her to be Puerto Rican. I didn't know she's Puerto Rican.
So I didn't know Mena was, I guess, is that a Puerto Rican name? I didn't know. Yeah. I saw her. She was of darker hue.
Yeah,
she's on Love and Hip Hop. So I'm just making an assumption.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't until this came out that it was like, oh, she's Puerto Rican.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, then it kind of goes into, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when she was like XXL eye candy and everything like that. She got introduced in the Chris Brown video, right? I remember when she came onto the scene. I never remember her saying I'm black.
But I also,
and so like but she always went over the like I'm ethnically ambiguous.
Okay, yeah.
So you know what I mean. So, but I've never heard her say I'm black. So for her to call another black woman a monkey, even though you got black children. You date black men, right? And that's the thing. It's like that doesn't make you black. And if you never claimed your blackness, then you're no different than a white person when you're hurling invective or using an epithet like that against a black woman.
But I also think that it does, even if you did claim your blackness, because it reminds me of when we had the brother on, our first guest. Brother Cruz.
Yeah, Cruz, yeah.
Who's a Puerto Rican descent to talk about how race shows up in places like Puerto Rico.
Right.
And he talked about it shows up in the space of like trying to make your children more like the darker skinned grandmother being hidden away and that type of stuff. So then even if you claimed your blackness, like I'm black as a light skinned person, but I also understand that as a light skinned person, I have privileges, right?
Right.
And part of those privileges come from because I look closer to the white aesthetic.
Right. Yeah.
And because white people can sometimes like see themselves in me physically or aesthetically or complexually, that gives me a certain amount of privilege. So if I, as black as I want to claim, then go to a darker skinned black person and weaponize that privilege, right?
Yeah.
Weaponize that and say, oh, you look like a monkey.
Right.
Then that's racist. That's a racial slur. And that's somebody of a lighter hue perpetuating white supremacy, in my opinion.
Of course. Yeah, it's all of that and then some. And I think that Miracle said it earlier, that episode shouldn't have aired. Like this shit shouldn't have came out.
True.
This should have been handled behind the scene
and
say, okay, because now Spice got to deal with that the rest of her life. Spice children got to watch some, woman call their mom a monkey on TV.
Right.
And I know there was like a piece afterwards where they had Spice talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't know who she was interviewing with, but I seen it. That was one of the things. And I'm like, yo, it's just whack. It's like the way I look at it is like, are your ratings that bad that you needed to put this on TV for people to relive?
Maybe because it's like you said, we didn't know it was still on.
I didn't know it was still on.
And there was another part of it, and I'll come to you, Trouble, and then Miracle, that I thought also was really wild is in the video when Spice is saying, let me out of here. And it was like they wouldn't allow her to leave the restaurant. And she's saying like, yo, like I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because of the, as somebody that's been in that position in terms of like where you feel like, yo, it's about to go. I'm trying to leave. I don't want to take it into a place where it goes not just physical, but to another level.
Right. Yeah.
And I just thought that was super whack. I thought it was super whack to not only continue to allow the cameras to run, but to air that. I agree with you 1,000%. Trouble?
So I'm about to send something to the group chat.
Okay.
All I'm going to say about it is Erica Mena, I'm calling her Frieza from now on.
Okay. I'm lost. What's Frieza?
So if you don't know who Frieza is,
Dragon Ball Z.
It's a Dragon Ball Z reference, and he stays calling the Super Saiyans. You monkey!
Okay.
That's all he's. Every time he talks about a Super Saiyan, that's exactly what he says.
Okay. Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like if Super Saiyans were the black people of the DBZ world,
And you can kind of say
Erica
we kind of
Mena
are.
is the Frieza.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Frieza's a bad person or a negative
Yes,
person.
he is a protagonist.
Villain.
Yeah.
For sure.
See,
It's hilarious.
this is why we joke and we say you can always tell when a black person doesn't have a black mom, right?
Yeah.
And
That's true.
we make those comments because a lot of people will date black men
Yeah.
without a love for black people.
True.
And
Come on.
when that relationship sours, that love for that black man turns into internalized anti-blackness
Yes.
that is directed at those kids
Wow.
and the society abroad.
Yeah.
Erica Mena has 2 black children.
Right.
Ain't no way in hell she should have ever called another black woman a black monkey, a blue monkey,
Right.
and made monkey and chimpanzee noises
Right.
as a mother of a black child.
100%.
First step. Second thing is when you are angry and your default is to go to a racial or racialized slur.
Absolutely.
That is who you are.
That's who you are. Yeah.
Erica Mena has dated multiple black people on this show, has gotten into multiple arguments, she was trying to be a rapper and a singer, and Rich Dollar stole her song and gave it to Olivia from G-Union, and she had to cry. She's been cheated on this show, drugged through the mud. People have talked about her child before, and at no point did she call any of these other people.
Well, at least not
monkeys.
not on video,
camera.
on camera. Yeah.
So that is one thing. The other thing is, I don't think it should have been aired. I get that we are in an awakening, a cultural awakening, and sometimes our reality shows reflect what's happening in the real world. But if you're a boss and you see your employee antagonizing another employee in such a way,
Right.
you stop that right there. You nip it in the bud. You don't promote it. You don't make it your whole episode your whole storyline for your episodes, and then tell people, ooh, tune in to see how we deal with this racism on our cat. Like, that's not how that works. And I hate that we are now using like homophobia and racism as like marketing gimmicks to watch shows.
True.
You just don't put it up.
Yeah.
Bravo had something a couple weeks ago about one of their castmates was sexually assaulting another person. We don't need to see it.
Wow.
You just cut it off and you move on. We don't have to see it. And I think that we really have to figure out what we're going to do with these reality TV shows.
True.
And I get it, they're not SAG actors, but like we gotta demand more for these folks.
Yeah, I think I remember reading like they were all trying to come together and get together, but it will be interesting. I mean, we haven't heard from Erica Mena as of yet.
Yeah, I wonder how our PR team's going to spin this.
All these black people, even Spice herself was like, I don't think that she should be fired for what she said. We said things when we're angry.
Oh, wow.
Getting Spice is Jamaican. She's not a black American born
True.
person. So that slur is not going to hit her as hard as it would be a black American born person.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, why then you become the person, kind of like Don Lemon.
Yeah.
You become the person that gets fired for either speaking up for truth, or you become the reason that somebody else got fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like, what do you do as a black person?
It's like she doesn't want to be blamed for
when it's your job and you're
right.
being disrespected and dehumanized at your job. So, it's different. But I don't know, because even when me and my friends have gotten to knockout, drag down fights, we've never gone to the racial.
No.
You know what I mean? So I don't always understand why that's something that people go to. Is like, because
like you said, it's who they are,
or who they are. Like, there's like a million things I'm gonna call you before a monkey. I'll call you. I probably got heifer, something before I even get like I don't know.
No, I think you said it is revealing, and it is interesting that we're in this place where this is what is being clicked on, right? The more. And we're seeing that, right? And we're seeing this kind of influence how people are behaving in public or the things people are doing, whether it's real, whether it's trolling, you know what I'm saying? We got neo-Nazis showing up here, these people showing up there, and it's like, is this for clicks? Is this for YouTube? Because all of this is driving a particular content. So that's a whole nother conversation that's fascinating. There is one thing that I did want to get into that I found really, really kind of, I don't know if this is funny and wild.
Please tell me.
Let me read this headline.
Oh, God.
Biden says he has no concerns about McConnell's health after speaking to him. Joe Biden talking to Mitch McConnell.
Because Biden's not trying to speak his own problems into existence. He's like, we're the same age, so maybe if I say nice things about him, it'll skip me.
I mean, this is one. It's like clearly y'all gotta stop putting Mitch McConnell in front of these microphones. My man ain't ready.
He ain't right.
He's not
healthy.
Ready. He's either getting booed or freezing up. It ain't working. Like, keep him behind the scenes, but to have...
Maybe they want to see him die on camera, like Tommy Cooper.
Ask if he has any concerns about...
You remember that shit?
I don't know what you're talking about. Ask if he has any concerns about McConnell's ability to do his job. Biden said, quote, "No, I don't." How the hell can you watch...
Are you watching what we watching, Joe? Sleepy Joe, are you watching what we watching?
Wake up and turn the TV on, Joe Biden.
I think I know why Biden doesn't have any concerns. Well, one, he met with the guy, but two, I did see a couple news outlets try to spin the video as though Mitch froze up on purpose because they were trying to ask polarizing questions. But then when I watched it, I'm like, that doesn't look like that.
When the
lights go off and nobody home. You know what I mean?
When the lady rode up to him and like repeated the question like real loud in his ear, like I've seen that before. I was like, she's done that before. She's like, did you hear what they said, Mitch? Are you gonna run for re-election? Like, and he just the nigga still froze. But it's wild because McConnell and Biden says McConnell's 81, and guess who's going to be 81 in November? Joe Biden. So it's like the idea that, like, you know, I mean, I guess you got to cover down.
I think that he's having a real medical event.
Yeah, he is. Yes, because he's 81, and you're supposed to have medical trauma at 81.
Hopefully, miracle. And anyone who has eyes can see that this man is having a medical emergency. He don't need to be a senator.
Needs some milk.
He needs help. He needs
medical
full-time
experts
nurses.
have theorized that he's having strokes.
Yes,
probably. Do you smell toast, bitch? Then you
stop. And I do think that I think that you should be able to retire and enjoy your life, but I think the vestiges of white supremacy will not allow Mitch to do so. I think we've seen it with Mitch. We've seen it with Diane. We're seeing it with Joe Biden. We saw it with Jesse Jackson. Our elders will not let go and would rather like work to their death.
Although Miracle, Jesse did. Although it was this year.
He retired.
He finally did retire. But just like you said, mad late, but he finally retired.
This is why we need term limits, man.
I'm telling you.
And I'm not sure if it's an age thing, because I think if people were healthier, like I think Bernie Sanders is similar in age, but people view him as healthier.
He hasn't done a lifetime of evil, so that's what's keeping him.
Probably. I mean, he did have a heart attack, last year.
I didn't know that.
Before. They said it was something, but it was basically a heart attack when he was running on the campaign trail.
Was he actually running?
Oh my goodness!
When he was running for president on the campaign.
I'm being honest. Like if Bernie's actually running,
we are seeing that, but we don't have the infrastructure for younger people to run for office. We don't have the infrastructure for younger people to be able to make these connections, to be able to run. And so we are dealing with a lot of older people who do not have the same lived experiences, are not facing the same issues. And that is the reason why people are not excited about Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden. But but one last thing I'll say is everybody keeps talking about the FOTUS is sick, Mitch is sick. Biden, they have health care. They have access to the best doctors and research in the world, and all they've done with their careers is make sure that each of us do not have those same health care benefits, and that's what the conversation really needs to be centered on.
Great
is the benefits that they have that they have worked to make sure that we don't get.
Right. The best health care, and you still up there freezing.
And retirement.
They tried to give me the advice.
But like you said, and Dr. Jill Biden has, I guess, has COVID.
Like the third or fourth time.
Right. Apparently the president has not tested positive. But you make a great point, Miracle. Like, we still don't have universal health care, and we also don't have a political place where people that are younger that don't have access to millions of dollars. Remember, Vivek can run because he has access to millions of dollars that he cheated away from folks in some pump and dump scheme around some drug.
Pump and dump is crazy.
That's what they call it. That's what they call it.
Really? That's what they...
Yes. And so I think
basically
that
you inflate price and then you pull... You leave and get all your profit while everybody holds the losses.
Go look at how Vivek made his money.
I was reading that article.
Straight scam.
That shit was
straight. So like
that's almost racist,
right? But he has access to millions of dollars, right? Millions of dollars, and so you make a great point. And then think about this: and I know we got to close, but think about this. Think about if Biden's not running, and if now the conversation is about the great things happening in Pennsylvania, or the great things happening in Michigan, or what, maybe Gavin Newsom's doing in California, and Biden could just come around and just lend his support. He could be Uncle Joe again. And now the whole conversation around, is he too old, or what's his health like, or all his policies being so unpopular and Bidenomics not really working, all of that kind of goes away. But that wanting to hold on to power, a group of people that don't want to have to leave the White House and want to hold on for it for another 4 years, and you will put that in front of what's best for the whole entire nation, setting up a place where we might have a prison president in Donald Trump. Welcome to America. This shit is crazy. With that being said, our white pages this week. You want to hit the white pages?
White pages, hum.
Our sister Jemele Hill, Uphill, a memoir. This is a memoir about Jemele Hill. For those that don't know, she's a sports journalist.
She's amazing is what she is.
Very well renowned. Well, she started as a sports journalist. Now
she's more of like a culture critic, I would say.
Cultural critic. She has a very popular podcast. And this is her memoir. Just somebody that is... and one of the first people to publicly call Donald Trump a white supremacist.
Absolutely. And she caught hell for that.
And had to leave ESPN because of that. But to me, probably much better off now. So this is her memoir, Uphill. Shout out to her as well. You can read that. Anything going on this week that we want to let people know about, Miracle?
For the Black Excellence, shout out to Dion. Because he won over.
Deion Sanders, yes.
Prime time.
Shout out to Shannon Sharp because he's now on First Take.
Shannon Sharp is back.
So I'm very happy that he is back and all. I just like to see, last week was Black women winning.
Yes.
This week, we can give props to the Black men.
Yes.
And then we're back at Fridays on Deck, right? Mm-hmm. The 8th.
Fridays on Deck on Friday. And then also, too, you had mentioned Coco Gauff. Last week, she made it into, I think, the quarterfinals. Is the first Black woman back-to-back quarterfinalists. I think Serena and Venus. So shout out to Coco Gauff as a teenager, back-to-back. And also for the first time, and this might be the first time, there are two Black tennis players playing in the quarterfinals Francis Tiafo is one of them, and Ben Sheldon. They're both black men, tennis players from the United States of America. So that's also shout out to them in terms of some black excellence. And shout out to Diddy. You know what I'm saying? It did take a while, but at least, you know, we just had the Locks here. The Glocks got their publishing back. Mace finally got his publishing back.
Yeah, Sean.
And the rest of the artists, you know, got their publishing back.
Do you think Mace is going to start rapping, or is he going to keep like finding Jesus now that he has?
Well, no,
he got a podcast with Cam.
Yeah, I know he has his podcast,
and they supposedly just signed a big deal for their podcast. So, but yeah, I think he'll probably kick a verse or two every now and then. Supposedly, when they were going to go on tour, Mace, Cam, and Jadakiss, it was supposedly Diddy
that kept that from
that
happening.
Squashed the tour. So now maybe they can do that tour. Maybe they could do I think Mace left the church a while ago. I think he was like, this scam is up. I ain't making the money that I need to do. I'm going to go. Because, I mean, if you watch his podcast, he's not on some Jesus shit.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Not at all. You know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, shout out to him as well. Anything else? And Friday's on deck. Friday. Anything else? That's it?
That's it, man.
Man, this was
a great episode.
A great episode. And we will see y'all next week on This Week in White Supremacy. Peace. One hood, y'all.